Plant-based homestead prepper, where we make prepping fun. In this video, we're gonna talk about do you believe, and it might not be what you think I'm gonna be talking about. So if you're new to the channel, we are a group of like-minded folks that just believe in living the way we want to live. Eventually getting your own piece of land, growing your own food, getting off the grid, going solar, going whatever you gotta do to just live the way you want to live, the way we are intended to live. How about that? Without a bunch of rules, regulations, laws, and crazy stuff. Like I said, grow your own food. My family, we personally have gone in the last 9 years from being homeless to purchasing a rental property that we used to live in and a small 3-acre farm that we bought back in December of 2020, and we are still adjusting to farm life. So on this channel we talk about several things. Prepping is one of them, stocks is another, cryptocurrency, and now our new genre is golf. So you'll see from time to time me talk about a little golf here and there. So the question I have for you this morning is, do you believe all of the stuff that is coming out in the media about, and y'all know we can't say certain things, I'm just gonna say 19. How about that? Or how about 91? We'll call it 91. Turn that around and you'll probably figure out what I'm talking about. So we're gonna call it 91. Do you believe all the stuff that's coming out about 91? Now we have a new strand that's supposed to be more, I don't know, contagious or whatever. I stopped, after the first year of it, I really stopped talking about it on this channel because it had gotten to the point where it was getting on my nerves, and I had gotten fatigued about hearing about 91. And now I'm to the point where I'm like, I don't know what to believe, because I don't believe any of it. I believe it was man-made. I believe it was released, and now we have these counter 91 that are out. Y'all notice I gotta really pick and choose how I say my words, because I don't want to get banned on the platform, and I don't want to get my videos demonetized anymore. I've already been there. But me personally, I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. I can't believe it. It's just unbelievable. And honestly, it is on my nerves. I'm tired of hearing about 91. I'm tired of seeing Dr. Fauci on TV all the time. Wear a mask, wear 2 masks. Oh, don't wear a mask. I'm like, it's on my nerves. So the question I have for you guys that are live and the ones that are going to watch this later, do you believe all the stuff that they're saying? Do you believe any of it? Because see, I look back at our history, and I look back at things like Tuskegee, where we knowingly gave a group of people for 40 years, I must add, what we called a remedy to a problem, but we end up giving them the problem. And if you don't believe me, look it up. And I might be wrong. It might have been 50 years. I'm not even 50 years old. So that's a long time to be manipulating, drugging, doping, giving somebody something that's not good for them. I look at how we introduced crack cocaine in the inner cities. I look at all of these things, and I'm not talking about things that are conspiracy theories. I'm not talking about things that some people say it happened, but we don't have any factual information about it. And I mean, look back at World War II, when we took Japanese citizens and put them in concentration camps. And now I'm just supposed to trust and believe what I'm hearing blindly. I'm just supposed to take 91 and put it into and have somebody inject it into my system, into the only body that I have, and I'm supposed to trust what you're telling me. And you had a vaccine to come out within 3 to 6 months after it was, after we realized we were in a pandemic. Question everything. Yes, heck yeah. What's up, Grim? How you doing, bro? You have to question everything, because I don't believe and I don't trust anything and anybody. And I hate to be that way, but that's just the way it is. And good morning to you as well. But it's just crazy to me how the masses, you know, I learned this a long time ago, and I'm probably older than some of you guys. And I was back in Amway when I learned this. You know, I did a lot of network marketing in my day. And I heard a speaker on stage one time say, observe the masses and do the opposite. Observe the masses and do the opposite. And I always took that in financial, you know, as financial advice. But I have over the years taken that into consideration for my whole entire life. Observe the masses and do the opposite. Why? Because most people are just going to go with the flow. Most people are not going to raise a hand and ask a question. Most people are like, oh, well, the TV says it, then that's what I'm going to do. You know what the TV is called in the business world? It's called the idiot box. You know what the television is called in with people who are wealthy and who have money? They call it the stupid box. Why? Because you're fed information, and most people don't have a brain in their head to decipher truth and fiction. So and all you got to do is just turn the channels, because everybody's saying the same thing on every channel. And it's like, well, if everybody's saying it, then it must be true. I don't believe that. I don't buy that BS. And if you're the person that, you know, you believe you need to take 91 or the shot that prevents 91. Oh, and then I heard the other day, because I don't watch any news anymore, but I was just, you know, we just had the TV on. I was just passing by the room, and they were like, yeah, I think it was a Pfizer. The Pfizer needs a 3-month booster. I'm like, wait a minute. You take the shot, then you got to get a booster shot, what, like 10 days later? Then you got to get a booster to the booster? You didn't inject me enough the first 2 times. Now I need a booster. Come on now. So, if I'm wrong, y'all tell me if I'm wrong or not. But it makes zero sense to me. One, because they came out with the 91 preventative shot too fast, too quick. And from the research I have discovered, it takes years, sometimes even decades, to come up with something that is going to be effective. So I think it's either one or two things. I think it's a placebo, which means it's nothing. It's a sugar water or salt water. They give you some saline. Or 2, which is that I would hate to find out, you know, 50 years from now when they open up the archives, you know, because that always happens. We always find out things 50 years later. Oh yeah, we you know, Kennedy wasn't assassinated by Harvey Oswald. Martin Luther King didn't die in a hospital. You know, we always find this stuff out 50 years later when they open up the archives and the truth comes out. So 50 years from now, when you guys look back at my videos and like, golly, plant-based homestead prepper was right. I should have taken that vaccine because they gave me something. You know, and you guys do realize that the epidemic, or I don't even know if that's the right word, but the cases of autism has gone up in the country, and they've kind of, you know, traced those things back to I don't want to say that word. How about the shots that we've given our children? You know, it's just amazing to me how, and hopefully, you know, my little platform, and hopefully there's a few people that watch this, hopefully you will just take some things I say and just think about it. And I know most of you guys, you know, y'all are on one side of the fence. Either you're like, yeah, give me the shot, or I'm never taking the shot. I think in this community, we're going to have very few people that are like down the middle. I'm trying to find my sanitizer right now. It's right here in my face. So just to give you guys an update for those that have been watching, I just left my morning workout. I'm trying to do something that no one in my family has done and nobody in this age group probably has ever done before. And I'm trying to become this is going to sound crazy. I'm trying to become a pro golfer. Okay. I called a potential coach the other day, and my potential coach asked me my age. And I told him my age, and the dude bust out laughing like that was the funniest thing on the planet he has ever heard. And he laughed, so I laughed because I was laughing at him. He's laughing at me. I was laughing at him because I was like, and I'm old enough and I'm grown enough and I'm more, I'm mentally strong enough to know now when people are laughing at you, they're not laughing at you. They're laughing at their possibility of believing in themselves. And I want you guys to take that throughout the rest of your life. When you say or you tell somebody you're going to do something and they give you negativity or they laugh in your face or whatever, just treat it as fuel for your fire. Why? Because it should be. Don't ever let anybody discourage you from doing what you want to do. Now, chances are, in the deck is definitely stacked up against me. But what he didn't know I consistently drove the ball, 300 yards. He didn't know that I'm excellent on the greens. He didn't know that. He just took an age and just ran with it because that was his point of reference. And will I work with him? Probably so. I probably will still work with him. He invited me to come out and me hit some balls, and he watched me. And I was like, hey, I got a new putter coming in. I was telling the truth. I got my new putter yesterday. I just worked out with it this morning. I stink with this new putter. I'm telling you, I stink. But in a 60-minute workout, about the last 10 minutes, I started to roll the ball the way I wanted to. Everything that you have, everything that is new to you, everything that's moving forward, you have to work. You guys know that, right? If you want to live the lifestyle, like a lot of you guys are like, oh my God, you and Jennifer living our dreams. I want to buy a farm. I want to do this. I want to have chickens. I want to have this. I want to have that. Guess what, guys? It took work. The only time, listen to me very closely. The only time success comes before work is only one time, and that's in the dictionary. That's only time. You got to be willing to work for what you want. You got to be willing to sacrifice for what you want. You got to be willing to put in sweat equity for what you want in life. And I don't care what your background is. I don't care what your color, race, or creed is. It does not matter. Why do people come to this country from other countries and in 5-10 years, they're out cash flowing us 10-1? Why? Because they work their asses off. And that's one thing I've always been willing to do. And I learned this when I was young. When I was a kid. I played Pop Warner football. I was one of the largest kids at the time, but I was one of the slowest kids. But I was also one of the strongest kids because I was working out early. And one of my coaches told me one day, he's like, Roderick, you're fat and you're slow. You're going to have to work twice as hard as everybody else to get the same results. And that stuck with me. I was probably 6-7 years old. And that stuck with me my whole life. I've always been willing to work twice as hard as the next fella to get the same result. And then you know what happens? Every now and then, the stars will line up in my favor. The moon would be on the right plateau and plane. And God himself would just shine a light down on me. And the double the work I've been doing will all of a sudden just blossom. And I would reap a harvest. And you guys look at it like, oh my God, how do Roderick and Jennifer always get blah, blah, blah? How do Roderick and Jennifer get here? How do they get there? Because guess what? In the background, we're working twice as hard as you are. And you just don't realize it. So that's a little tip for you right there. Be willing to work twice as hard for the same results. Be willing to do that. Because every now and then, you'll get twice the result, 3 times the result, 4 times the result. Every now and then, it's going to work out. Double, triple, and quadruple for you. So that's my message for today. Happy Monday. You guys, this is the first day of the start of the week. Do something today that your 5 years from now self will be thankful, happy, and proud that you did. I'm trying to get me a smoothie. And while I'm talking to y'all, it's like so many people are coming up here to get stuff. I just want a smoothie this morning. I'm hot. I need some nutrition. And I'm not eating. I'm going on a modified fast because I've got to drop a ton of weight. I know how to do that. And hey, y'all wish me well. And if you're not going to wish me well, then eat my dust. I'll catch y'all later. See y'all next time.